As women, sex has always been an act. The act of sex. And what I mean by that is that we learned how to act in the experience of sex. We became actresses. We watched, learned, and copied what we saw in romance movies, what we read in romance books, and talking to friends, what we would see on TV. We learned to become who we thought we needed to be in the act of sex without ever learning how to be ourselves in sex, show up as we are, and enjoy the experience of sex for ourselves. It was always an act from the beginning. I remember one of the first books I read that introduced me to what romance was supposed to be with a man. I used to steal a sibling's books. She read Sweet Valley High, and I would steal those books in middle school, and that's where I first began to learn who I needed to be with a man to get the man, and what I thought I needed to be in the act of sex to be desirable. And then added on to that with different movies and talking with friends and seeing things on TV, thinking this is who I need to be. And when we're honest, we all did that as women. So then when we decided we were ready to get married and find a husband and get the man, we felt in ourselves that the only way to get a man is with sex. We are so insecure in ourselves as women, so disconnected from really knowing who we are and knowing how to show up as ourselves. We've spent our whole lives being who we think we need to be liked, approved of, and wanted. Then when it came to getting a man and a husband, the only thing we felt we had to offer as women was sex and our bodies. That's all we felt we had to offer. So we knew we better perform well and be who we need to be in the experience of sex. And we get caught up in that and get caught up in the performance. So the experience we were having before we got married, and the passion and the intensity and the things we were doing, we have to be honest with ourselves and realize all of those things were an act. They were all a performance. And then a man believes in that act and in that performance, wow, I've really gotten lucky. I met a woman who is really good in bed and really enjoys having sex and believes that's who she's going to be. And I think somewhere in us as women, we believe that's who we are because it's all we've ever known. And the women I'm speaking to today are women who want to solve the issues and genuinely want to figure this out, maybe didn't realize how much you were caught up in the act of sex and being an actress in it. And that what became of that, again, is we never learned to enjoy sex for ourselves. I had to realize there was no Karen to be found in the act of sex. There was no me. And that's why as women also, just on a side note, why we feel so empty and used after sex. Most of us have had that experience of feeling just completely empty after the excitement is done, and then feeling empty and like an object. And we always falsely thought it was the man that made us feel that way, or men that make us feel that way, but it's not. It's the act we were putting on and the show we were putting on, and there being no me in the experience that makes us feel so used and empty. we're doing it to ourselves, which is a very good thing to recognize, because that's the only way we can be the solution, is if it's me. And that's where I had to get to in resolving the issues of sex in my marriage, was to know it's me. I'm creating all of this. And this is the root of it, that we were actresses. So we get married, we get the man. For some women, the sex starts to dwindle and we stop enjoying sex on the wedding night. For some women, we slowly back off over time, and it's a slow burn to the point of not enjoying sex and being disinterested. And this all happens, whether it happens quickly once we get married or it takes time. It's happening because we can't keep up the act. We can't keep up the act. So we start to disengage. And then for some women, you might start to re-engage when you want to have children. And men have shared this with me too. Like, yeah, it kind of stopped or became less frequent after we got married. And then she wanted kids. And then it was kind of back to what it was when we dated. But again, because it was a means to the end. Once we get married or once we have kids, there's no reason to keep the act up anymore, because we got what we wanted. And once we get what we wanted, there's no reason. And it becomes tiresome and burdensome to keep the act up. When there's never any you to begin with, that's why you begin to feel obligated, like it's a chore and a checklist. It's why you start to have the mental calendar. Well, I had sex on this day, so now I can go a couple weeks. I know that calendar. I had that calendar for a long time, and then it starts to, the week or the 2 weeks goes by, and you start getting anxiety and pain because you know you need to, but you don't want to because it feels like such a burden and such a chore, and it's the last thing you want to do. Again, it comes back to it being an act. Hello again. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. For those women listening who know you are the problem and you want a path forward to change your woman ways and truly be happy in yourself, I have a course for women called the Happiness Program. And the Happiness Program teaches you to resolve the unhealthy relationship you have with yourself so that you can be the solution to the issues and challenges in your marriage and your life. You can find the link in the description below to learn more about the course and apply to enroll. For the good men listening who want a way to take back the power you've unknowingly given away to your wives, I also have a course for you called the Marriage Rescue Course for Good Men Only. And the course teaches you how to rebuild your strength and confidence so that you can navigate the relationship with your wife in a healthy, constructive way. Again, you can find the link below in the description to learn more about the course and apply to enroll. Again, thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.